Faith, family, film. We are the family. Oh,
we are the family.
Faith, family, film. We are the family. Oh,
We are the family.
you guys.
What's up, everybody?
Hi, this is Amber.
Marvin.
And Liberty, as you can see, is right here chomping on some popcorn.
Yep, as always.
Yes, and we're with the Family O, you guys. And we want to thank you guys so much again for joining us for another episode of our podcast, The Family O Experience.
Yeah.
And today, you guys, we are talking about relocation.
Yeah.
We are talking about coming back home for the first time since relocating to Atlanta, Georgia, a little over a month and a half ago. So we're coming up on almost 2 years.
Babe says a year and a half. When do we officially get to say 2 years?
It'll be in January 31st
That's
to be exact.
2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was really, I had a range of emotions visiting back home,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, for you, this was like, it was like your second home, essentially. I mean,
Yep.
you were there for how long were you in Houston? Prior to us
15 or
meeting?
16 years. We
Wow.
left, let me see, I have to think about it, y'all. Came to Houston in 2002,
Mm-hmm.
and then we left in 2018,
Yeah,
right? So that's 16 years.
about 16 years.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
And all your life.
All my life,
Mm-hmm.
born and raised from the H.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the main objective for today's podcast, I think, is going to be like really, really special to kind of just talk about how we felt being back home for the first time in 2 years. It was, like I said, it was a range of emotions that I felt. And, you know, things that anybody that's watching this that's relocated and you hadn't made it back home to your home city or whatever the case is, you might share these same sentiments that we're going to talk about in today's podcast. Do you want to get started or you want me to go first?
You can go ahead and get started.
So, going back home for the first time since leaving, first and foremost, for many of you that don't know, moving to Atlanta was my idea. Through the Holy Spirit, I felt led for us to move. I knew that I wanted us to do something different. I think that our time in Houston was done, and I wasn't 100% sure where I wanted us to move to because I was such a homebody. You know, Houston is all I know.
Yeah.
We did I didn't leave Houston for very often until meeting you. So
That's
that's
true,
really when we
babe.
started like traveling.
Mm-hmm.
But prior to that, you know, the occasional trips, you know, back home to Nigeria, but other than that, you know, we didn't do much of anything. So for me, I had no earthly knowledge of how relocation works. As far as, you know, I always say, and I tell baby this all the time, you know, we knew we were going to own a home wherever we moved to.
Yeah.
But I thought that you couldn't like own a home but be from out of state, like in order to get a loan on a house or whatever the case is, that you would have to I thought you had to live there for like 2 or 3 years. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But I felt led for us to move to Atlanta, Georgia, and I told babe all the time when we were driving, when we came and visited the second or third time that when did I like say, okay, this is where we need to move to? Was it the second time?
No, it was, what do you mean? It was like the first, when we came for Liv's birthday.
So we went to the Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
And then we came, and then we were
In the aquarium, the Georgia aquarium, y'all.
Then there was a time that we came and we were at Spelman.
Oh,
and we
I see what you're
filmed and
saying.
all that stuff.
You're talking about from the very beginning when we came. Oh,
Yes.
goodness.
What was
Oh, man. That was, okay, we came a long time ago when Libby wasn't even born.
Right.
And then we came again when she was born, or was it just us?
It was us together. We went to Coca-Cola twice.
But I'm saying when we came the second time, it was once we had Libby?
Yes.
Okay, so, and then we came another time. So it was the third time.
Okay, it was the third time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, coming here, I was just like, babe, I think this is where we need to be. And that's when the whole planning started. We visited 2 more subsequent times before we started to lock stuff down as far as where we wanted to stay. But I didn't really know what I was getting our family into. Babe trusted my leadership, and we're co-leaders, and I just feel like I really had to get this right, because if things went south, it was going to be all on me. So what I mean is, as far as taking the blame, but going back home, it was really an interesting feeling. First of all, when we got back to the airport, I felt like, first of all, I felt the heat. That's what it was. That's the first
true.
emotion.
That was the first thing.
I was like, dang, it's still hot here. Why is it still hot here?
Yep.
And so already moving here to Atlanta, I love the fact that we get true seasons here. It's truly fall, truly winter, truly spring, truly summer. And the summers here, it gets hot, but not as hot. We got family, of course, it's still in Texas. And I think you mentioned one of your friends said it was 100 and something.
Yep, it was in the 3 digits. Yep.
3 digits. And that's August. That's a normal August.
Yeah.
And it's the humidity on top of that. So it's not only the heat, but it's the humidity. But I first felt the heat. That's the first thing I felt. The second thing that I felt was really the familiarity of everything.
Yeah,
but how a lot of things have changed since we've been here. That's what I want to say for now.
Okay.
But so the heat, and how things were the same, but things were very different.
Okay, so we got to back up a little bit, y'all.
Okay.
First of all, Babe didn't even want to go back to Houston. Let's just be clear.
Oh, you just going to put me all the way
I'm going to put Babe out there because we have been so blessed here in Georgia, y'all, and it has been such a new thing for us. It's so unique. And I told Babe, though, I was like, I definitely want us to come back to Houston this summer, because we have been gone. We haven't been back. It would be a great idea to go back. We actually had planned to go back to Houston and then also go to Dallas as well, because that's where some of our family is also. That's where I grew up.
Right.
So just as amazing as God is, he made it to the point where Babe had a business trip that came up that sent us back to Houston. So I just wanted to put that out there, y'all, because we would not have made this trip if it wasn't for that.
We would have eventually gone back to Houston. I mean, the thing is that I love it here in Atlanta. And I love Atlanta for some atypical reasons. All that you guys have heard about Atlanta, we don't deal with any of that unless we just want to be around A-Town, Atlanta. We don't deal with any of the foolishness that you see on Love and Hip Hop or any of these other shows. Housewives. We don't deal with any of that. And it was so crazy because the Atlanta that you see on television is a lot different than the Atlanta that you see on a day-to-day basis. I mean, it's so much diversity here. I thought that Atlanta was Chocolate City, essentially. And it is. I mean, we are